Hey everyone, welcome back to more StarCraft Brood War. We're on the Terran campaign! Yay! Since the conflict began in the Kupurlu sector, the ruling council of the United Earth Directorate has closely monitored the wayward Terran colonies. Having as a study advancement the Zerg infestation and maneuverings of the Protoss throughout the colonies, the ruling council has finally agreed to take control over the war-torn sector. Okay. Learning that a new Zerg overmind has manifested itself upon planet Char, the UED has sent its greatest admiral, Gerald de Gaulle, to capture the creature. Has captured the UED fleet under de Gaulle, your objective will be to storm the Terran Dominion, depose of its dictator, Emperor Manx, first. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of... Can we see anything on the world map? Anywho, it doesn't matter. We are playing... Wow, wait, I don't get into it. I feel like I say that a lot. There's a lot I want to say. Ice water's amazing.
Adjutant online. Good morning, Captain. Our long voyage from Earth is over, and we are holding a stationary position near the borders of Dominion space. I trust that the effects from your long, cold sleep have worn off by now. If not, the Med Officer can provide you with additional cryostim supplements. Admiral de Gaulle has issued a proclamation to the entire fleet via Transmed. I'll patch it through to you now.
Attention, defenders of the United Earth Directorate. This is Admiral de Gaulle. You were all briefed before we left Earth, so you know that we have come here to conquer this sector in the name of humanity. Should any of you have second thoughts about performing your assigned duties, be reminded that if we fail in our mission here, not one of us will be going home. We stand or fall together in this forsaken wasteland. Serve the Directorate. Serve humanity. All other priorities are secondary to victory. De Gaulle out.
Transmed completed. Receiving incoming transmission.
Good morning, Captain. I am Vice Admiral Stukov, Tactical Advisor to Admiral Dugan. I see you've already reviewed his proclamation. I'm sure it doesn't cover anything you weren't already familiar with. Once you get to know the Admiral, I'm sure you'll find that he's actually quite personable. At any rate, Captain, I do have orders for you. As we are about to begin our invasion of the Dominion, we will need access to their primary data net and weapons diagnostics. To this end, you are to assault the outlying planet of Praxis and take control of its capital city of Boralis. You are to deploy your forces within 2 standard hours. The Admiral expects perfect results, Captain. Stukov out.
Okay, I guess we're doing this. Alright, and there's not gonna be a lick of Vespine. I'm waiting. Say your piece, Marines.
Oh crap. This landed site doesn't have any gas. Guess we better start looking for another geyser.
I was wrong! I was like, he's gonna say, this doesn't have a lick of Vespine. But then he didn't say that. Oh. Boy, how embarrassing. So yeah, this is far and away my favorite campaign in all StarCraft 1. I shouldn't say by far and away. Episode 6 is really good too. Like, here's how I stand. Episode 1's good. 2 is fine for the gameplay, but like the story I think is actually the weakest in all of the campaigns. 3 I just found like new appreciation for. And then 4 isn't bad. It's just the problem for me is like you have a Protoss campaign and then you have another serving of Protoss. And I really respect that they did it for narrative reasons. Because I think from a narrative standpoint it makes a lot of sense. It's like, okay, well, episode 3 was the Protoss and it dealt with the Fall of Ire. So it's like, okay, if we're gonna end off there, like, it makes a lot of sense to ask ourselves, well, what happens immediately after the Fall of Ire? Because, you know, there's a bunch of Zerg and everything there. Like, I feel like for Brood War, when they built the campaign missions, they did so in a sense that like they followed the narrative came first, and then the gameplay came second. And still, like to their credit, they tried to make it fun and entertaining. And I shouldn't say like they tried. They succeeded absolutely. Whereas like say for like StarCraft 2,
Forces are under attack.
you fight Protoss in the Terran campaign, but it doesn't really feel like
Additional supply
it's
depots required.
organic. It feels like it was forced because there's like, well, we need to give you an excuse so we can do TVP in the Terran campaign. Whereas realistically, if you're going from like a narrative sense, it probably would make more sense to not have Protoss in there at all. But they threw and here's the thing, and for some people that's like a detriment that they would have that people would focus on the gameplay more than the narrative, or like they would make allowances or sacrifice elements in the narrative for gameplay. Whereas for me, I'm in the other camp. Like this is why I like Wings of Liberty so much too. Like I would rather have the TVP, even though it doesn't make sense from a narrative perspective, than to just like not have it at all. Because it just better fits the narrative. Like I always choose gameplay over narrative is what I'm saying. So that's why for StarCraft 1, doing episode 3 and then going into 4, like for me, like that's too much Protoss, and then after that, like there's none. Like you're done. It's like no more Protoss, which like I'm fine with that because Protoss is actually my least favorite race in StarCraft 1. Like they're still fun to play, but I would rather play Zerg or Terran, and Terran is my favorite, but Zerg, I have a lot of fun with Zerg. So I guess it's interesting to highlight the differences of. We probably have enough Marines that we can start considering moving out. We're not going to use the tanks because they're precious to me.
Your forces
So
are under attack.
whereas I think for some people, the narrative is really important. And like, I wonder if this is a common sentiment where, like, you have episode 3, and then you immediately go into episode 4. Because I know a lot of people like, oh, is that a penguin? Heck yeah, that's awesome. Oh, we can get firebats too.
Your
Nice.
forces are under attack.
Whoops. So those are my thoughts, even though I know I just didn't finish my one. We're playing as Brown. Ugh. So, and I guess, like, I'm going to say this while I'm thinking about it. I think from a narrative perspective, like, it makes the most sense for Brood War to do Protoss immediately after the events of StarCraft 1. But I think they honestly could have done 5 or 6 in whatever order they want to. And you might be thinking, like, well, why do you say that? Because from oh, okay, we don't need to be here. From the way, I am curious where this leads. Is that just a ghost up on a cliff? All right, well that's cool.
Captain, I am Lieutenant Samir Duran of
Beautiful.
the Confederate Resistance Forces. I've been monitoring your attack against
Confederate.
the Dominion,
Wow.
and I'd like to offer you my services and skills in return for amnesty.
Intrigue. Lieutenant, you have absolutely no idea as to who we are or what we have come here to do. Why do you wish to side with us?
Because my men and I have sworn to fight against the Dominion and its Emperor. Seeing as how your forces have been laying into this Dominion base, I figured you were on the same side.
I see. How exactly do you propose to be of service to us, Lieutenant?
Well, I possess intimate knowledge of the surrounding area. I can show you an alternate route that leads to the rear of the main Dominion base.
Very well, Lieutenant. Consider yourself and your men the first colonial conference of the United Arab, correct? Captain, see that the Lieutenant is given our full cooperation. We shall see.
All right, Stigov got very quiet there.
Your forces
Oh, what's happening? Oh, jeez, yeah. Haha, we're fine. What? Excuse me? What's happening? Alright, interesting. Right, I was saying, like, you can swap around 5 and 6. So, as Brood War stands right now for the plot, like, yes, you would absolutely need to have 6 after 5. Like, it wouldn't make sense to have it the other way. I don't think. Whereas, if you were to change the story around so that... Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is that for the events of Brood War, and I can't really get into it without having spoilers, so I'll try and, like, mention this. I don't know if I'll have time. Probably in episode 6. Given the events of Brood War, it's like, okay, you have these set of outcomes happening, but they could have easily happened in a very different way. And I think basically my point is, like, it was believable enough that had things gone in a different direction, it would have been like, oh, okay, I'm definitely on board with this. Like, that's not a tough pill to swallow. So that's why I'm saying, like, you could easily have done, in my mind, episode 5 or 5 after 6, which the more I talk, the less sense it's making. But I hope, like, for some of you guys, it's like, oh, okay, I get what he's trying to say. But then I kind of feel like on some level, that's like saying, like, oh, well, it's like saying, oh, the events of StarCraft 1, like, not Brood War, could have been different if you had episode 2 after episode 3, because then you can just like, oh, well, then the Overmind won. It's like, yeah, like, you're suggesting the narrative would work if you completely changed it. Those reasons toasted. And it's like, well, yeah, no duh. Like, anything can work better if you completely change it. So I guess that's not really saying much. But I think, like, the point that I'm trying to get at, and that's why I bring it up, is like, in this particular instance, I really do think, like, you were almost close enough to make it work. Like, it's almost... I'm trying to think of great examples. Here, we'll get to siege tanks, start getting tank mode, you're going to need engineering bays. And actually, we're going to get Academy too. Anyway, so, that's my thoughts. Whereas, and going back onto the narrative, I think Brood War was entirely constructed with the narrative in mind. Whereas for StarCraft 1, I wouldn't be surprised if for the plot they're like, okay, well, let's start with the Terrans first because everyone knows, like, we're humans, so that probably has a draw for... That has a draw for most of the people, like, to play as humans, as they're the most familiar race. And then after that, I think... It's easy to say this in, like, retrospect, but I feel like after Terran, Zerg made the most sense to do next. And maybe, like, because I'm trying to imagine a campaign which the Protoss came after. The Protoss campaign came after the Zerg campaign. Yeah, and I don't see it. Anyways.
How can I be of service?
Oh, yes. Oh, and we should expand to while we're at it. Definitely not thinking about that. Dran, we have Dran. Dran's a lot of fun. Also, I don't think I need macro this time. We should probably start attacking. Let's go! Alright, so we're gonna send over Marines to go sell the enemy base. Hopefully we get some progress done. If they have siege tanks, we're gonna need equipment resistance. So other reasons why I like this campaign, like it's Terran. Well, why do I like this more in episode 1? I like the story a little better. I think this is a more narratively interesting campaign. Narratively interesting, does it even make sense? Alright, you guys don't need to read. Oh, look at that. They absolutely did it. The mad people. How do they get up there, though? Oh, there it is. Here, we're gonna station a couple of tanks here so that Duran doesn't get absolutely toasted. More interesting plot, and also gameplay-wise, I like this a lot more because you get medics, which you'll see next mission. And medics are a lot of fun for me because they make Bile feel that much better. Like, I like being able to heal the infantry because then we can start using stim a lot, or like we feel more justified in using stim. This tank belongs right here.
Base is under attack.
Interesting.
Your forces are under attack.
Which helps essentially, and in that end, I feel like I have more options with this campaign compared to the first one. And I think I like episode 1 more than episode 6, but like it's close. Well, I mean, we're gonna play through episode 6 again, so I have to remember. So that's pretty good. So yeah, gameplay's better. And I also just like the idea that here these guys are in their own corner of the universe, like just fighting. And then freaking like the UED comes out of nowhere. Well, I was gonna start doing like a meta analysis, like what happens in this campaign, but then again, I realized that some of you may have not seen this, so to talk about it would be spoilers. This is not good. This is not ideal.
Your forces are under attack. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Your forces are under
Oh
attack.
boy. Go repair! Ah! Things are falling apart! Dude, that tank on the high ground is bliss. Okay, and I don't think we want to punch through here, because it's still the side of the base. I need more tanks, if I'm being honest. Can we not get an armory? Well, we can. Alright, good.
Your forces are under attack.
Whoa, look how many units we have.
Your forces are under attack.
This is going great. I am thoroughly enjoying myself. Oh, like, I just love this campaign so much. Great, now start getting to work. I think all we need to do is destroy the command center, so. God, tanks are so good versus Terran. Like, in this matchup, like TBT, like everything's really determined by the tank. Which for some people, like they like it because then this becomes kind of like, well, like they say playing StarCraft 1 TBT is like playing chess, and I totally get that because you have to. I think the reason why they say that is because then it becomes really reliant on positioning.
Your forces are under attack.
And people really like. I mean, like, as I say, people really like that. I was like, well, yeah, of course. Like, You would think that people playing a strategy game are into strategy. It's like, who would have thought? And it's like, that's not really a revelation at all. Whereas for me, got him. I almost feel like we could break through the front. But we're not going to. We don't need to.
Your forces are under attack.
Whereas, I definitely prefer TVT in StarCraft 2. Just part of the reason... Boy, you did some work. If mostly for the reason that I feel like there's more ways to deal with the tank problem. Like, and I think part of the reason why I say that is because, like, I just understand the matchup better in StarCraft 2 than I do in StarCraft 1. Like, I'm not very experienced with multiplayer in StarCraft 1, so it's there's a lot more questions I have, so I think it's pretty natural for people to like things that they understand more. So, like, for example, because I have greater understanding of like, TVT and StarCraft 2, like, I'm more inclined to like it more, despite I think basically what I'm just trying to say is, like, I think having higher competency in something usually results in people liking things more. Like, the better you are at something, the more you like it. Man, this is going on great. Get more Marines, and yeah, like, this is a very straightforward, like, there is no mission from here on out that, like, I'm ever concerned that it's gonna be difficult for us. Like, I think there's gonna be like 1, 2, 3 easy street. Some of the missions in the Protoss campaign I was a little bit worried about. Like the last one, like that one gives me nightmares. But after that, it's like, ah, it's smooth sailing. No. Can we actually get to the... Yes, I think we can get to the command center now, because if we destroy this, we're in business. Problem is, now we're losing our Marines. But again, like, it's not really a problem. Like, I mean, this is the first mission, so of course it's meant to be a little bit easier. But even, like, the last, like, Terra mission I'm way into. And I think that's... speaking about what I was saying earlier, I think part of the reason why the Protoss campaigns are my least favorite, you know, for a number of reasons. One of which is because, like, Protoss is my weakest race, I think, in this game. I think, I'm not sure, like, the only way to really judge that, I think, would to get some, like, ladder experience, but I do not have that. Alright. Having this tank here should hopefully make our lives a little bit easier. Alright. Navigating the Marines to the mineral patch, not the easiest thing I've done in my life. Great, okay, well this is gonna be a wrap for this mission. Pretty straightforward stuff, I like it. And we didn't go through the front because we have tanks on high ground, mines, bunkers, and, like, we just don't have the resources to fight that war.
Successful, Admiral.
Excellent, Lieutenant. This planet's primary defenses are now prepped. Our tech teams can now begin to decode the Dominion security data.
I don't get why Stukhov's so quiet, but there you go. Alright guys, we did it. That was the first Terra mission. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye!